Let's try again. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
What is everyone doing? How are you doing, Medad?
Great, thank you. I'm actually gonna go and come back in 5 minutes. How about you? I'm gonna hand
Very,
to Joe, who's coming out.
very good.
Hello, hello.
Joe, how are we doing?
I'm doing great. How are you doing, Rich?
Very, very good. I think we're going to do a quick, maybe just spam on general just to get folks over. I realize with the new time,
Yeah.
there might be some.
I'm going to mute myself so you can't hear all my neighbours yelling in the courtyard.
Righty, we'll wait a couple of minutes. For those of you who are just joining, please drop, if you have a name and topic, just drop it in the chat and we'll get going in 2 or 3 minutes. Welcome everyone. Thank you. It's we have the new time in play today, so we'll get some immediate feedback on that. We'll get going in 2 minutes.
And this is my first water cooler during daylight hours. Unheard of.
Yeah, the new time has opened up EU hours a little bit. Alrighty. We got some updates. We got some from my dad, one from my dad, one from Define, one from Joe, one from Doug. If you have any more, just drop them in the chat.
Hello, good afternoon, good evening.
Hello. Welcome, Doug.
Thank you. It feels unnatural doing this on a Tuesday.
I know. This was the popular time that we received. There was a fair vote on Discord, and Tuesday at what are we, 6 p.m. GMT was the winning slot. But I think that the uptake might take a week or two, so let's wait and see. We'll just wait 30 more seconds. People still coming in. Alrighty, let's do it. We have 5 names and topics. So that's a nice amount actually today. Right, I'm going to share my screen. Can everyone see my screen if I do that? I'm going to head thumbs up.
Yep, all good.
Awesome. Great. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Rich, and I'm one of the directors at Lively Foundation. And we have the Watercooler today, so I think everyone knows what this is. So I'm going to just jump that introduction step. Okay, cool. Announcements for the week. So we have a couple of things that everyone should know about. So the first thing is congrats to Ray Guild and Elliot and team for the Delegated UX RFP. That was given to the Ray Guild team with an honorarium for the other submission, which we thought was fantastic and actually had some useful points that can be integrated in. So they've received a small reward for that. The second thing, network engineering SP, will be introducing direct routes. I think my dad is going to be talking about that. Third thing is the protocol R&D pre-proposal is up for renewal. I think Rick is on the call, so he's going to be joining to give a quick update on that and all the good work that that's been happening on the protocol front. We have a new builder spotlight, so this is something that I think Joe's going to give an update on. I'm not sure whether Marco is actually here, but that's great. And then something that I need to just double check with Rick in private is whether we do want a subgraph roadmap session this week to look at a little audit on that front. But we'll that's maybe not a full announcement for now. So we've heard these two things, or the second thing has already been mentioned, that Regal won the Delegated UX RFP, and that's now firmly on the roadmap. We also have we completed a great feedback session with Shane, who I think is going to give an update. And agentic workflows has been promoted to the roadmap itself, and there's going to be a focus on that hopefully over the next month. So we'll let Shane give an update on that quickly. Medad, do you want to give a quick on the accountability front? Ignore that. Yeah, go for it. Awesome, sounds great. And I think I have a feeling Protocol R&D Sidestream actually published the latest retro. So I think it literally came in the last hour. Awesome, great. So that's pretty much it from the foundation front. Let's hop in with name and topic. I think Medad, you were quick on the draw and out first. Do you want to give a quick introduction to Network Engineering SP and the new diagram? Awesome. Thanks. Thanks a lot, Medad. Any questions for Medad about this new funding mechanism from the network engineering SP? Alrighty, let's move forward. Define, do you want to give a quick update on Wave?
Hello, can you hear me? Can you hear me, Rich?
Yes, we've got you.
Okay, amazing. So I will give an update regarding the current progress. I did review myself all the deliverables again, and although the milestone one deliverables were in practice completed, they weren't up to the standards we wanted. This was because you didn't have the runtime agent that you were creating with the Weave tool doing most of the work of the lifecycle. You basically had the your workstation runtime, so that could be your codex or Claude or other agent doing that work, and then updating with context the remote runtime agent which was operating in HTTP. So I talked with Rick and I told him that I do not consider the milestone one to be completed, and I started working again on that. I gave the URL of that there, and I will show you how the new version is right now. One second. So can you see my screen? Is everyone here able to? Okay. Is it okay now?
No, it says, oh, let's have a look. Okay, yeah, it's working.
Oh, okay. So I removed the UI completely. I installed, I made it so that it installs Hermes, which has auto improvement workflows by default. And now you can do everything from within Telegram, and it is both deterministic on keeping the state on where you are on the life cycle, but it's also non-deterministic in the sense that you can do everything that the agent can do, so it can operate on the system itself. So for example, I now do the status command, it says to me exactly on what state I'm in, when, and it gives me everything, so including the app inventory. And I have defined all the different ways that the agent operates. So its application has an inventory, and you have a specific skill with which you are, when you're onboarding. Or first, the agent will start asking you some things about yourself. Then it will start communicating with you about how you believe it is best to operate with the agent. And then on each step, you need to fill some prerequisites. So I need to communicate with him everything about the application, and only then you can move to the next stage. And the agent is also able to do everything, including updating the notion, for example, updating the states and the different environments, um, because it holds the secrets. No, the secrets, I created a generic way you don't just throw the secrets in. You have the inventory, and everything is saved with the reference in the inventory. I was using Composio on that. Composio had some security issues, so I'm finishing this. So this is a almost finished version, but I need to first do the QA before I can talk with Rick again, so that they can review it. And these are the updates on Weave. The updates on the advertisement for Ascuno and for the other Weave apps are uh, on the Google Ads advertisement. This hasn't started yet because it's build operational. We are this month putting someone who will work on an hour-to-hour basis on an hour contract to work specifically with advertisement. I expanded the advertisement on Meta and TikTok ads. Meta had some authorization problems, so for some reason they didn't allow us to create an account. But TikTok we created, so this is will be rolling for today. We did these changes today. And regarding the operations, we are not happy on how the milestone one operations went to pretty much fulfill more than the original time frames. So for the milestone 2, we will do the following, and you are here to witness this change in operations. So when the milestone 1 finish, on the milestone 2 we will set a defined time frame where all the deliverables will be completed. Now, if they are not completed on review on this defined time frame, the whole program will stop and everything will roll back to Treasury. And this is so that there can be more time pressure, because this created this milestone 1 didn't have a time pressure, and it wasn't too good because it allowed me to basically go and say, okay, the app is not perfect, I need to do something more and something more. And yeah, I think this should be an operational change. Navigare, no, completely no. Because this you cannot do with Helms. You can go and check the repository. If you spin up right now Helms and try to create an application, well, good luck on that. This has a lot more moving factors.
Alrighty. Any questions for, rather than getting involved in a back and forth chat to verbal? Any questions for Define? Question from
Just
Navigator.
to say just one sentence for what Navigare says. Go on the repository and on the PR and review it, put your agent to review it, or you can manually review it as well. And if you think that you can accomplish the same thing with a standard agent, yeah, let me know. This is something totally different, and you're not just building the harness around it, you're also building a lot of the periphery systems that keep it together.
The gauntlet has been put down, Navigari. So there's a side-by-side challenge that you can do. Thank you for the full stop. Awesome. Thanks a lot, Define. Any other questions? maybe you can answer Navigaro's questions in the chat and give it a bit of thought. Let's not have a long back and forth though. Sell me this pen. Fantastic. Final words, Stefan?
Yes, because Navigar asks about the value that this adds to the Library network, you have the application that continuously creates application, and then you have the incentives for the users. So we're already finished one application which has not started advertisement, and you also have multiple other applications that will come, and you have people in the future that will create applications. And also you have a principal that funds that. So you don't have a finite amount of money that you spend and then you go for funding. You have a long-term project that you can basically rely on, that it will be on the system and it will continuously improve.
I think
So this is the
define.
value
Let's stop there, Mehdi. If you can, feel free to just like get one sentence answers, pop in the chat, and yeah, we can move forward now. Thanks for the update, Define. Great to have you keep building, and yeah, maybe just do a quick update in the chat for anything else. We got a lot to get through. Awesome. Let's come to Joe. Do you want to give a quick overview of the Builder Spotlight?
Yeah, sure. Can you hear me?
Yeah, got it.
I'll make this very quick. So on the blog today and on the social media, on Twitter, you can see a new post that I've written, which is a Builder Spotlight. This one is about Marco, who many of you will know from Framework. Some of you will have met in Portugal. And I think this is the first of hopefully many pieces that shine a light on the people in the ecosystem who are building and their experience of building what they're building, their story. And yep, this is the first one that's live. I enjoyed it. I've already got the second one coming up, and I'm going to just send here now in the chat the thread on X. It would be great if people here could like it or give it a retweet. And then also the blog built from inside the stack, which is on the LivePeer blog. It would be great for people to read it and to let me know what they think. And yeah, that's pretty much it. And keep it short and sweet. Hope you enjoy it, and there'll be more of these to come.
Awesome. Thanks a lot, Joe, and great to see it move forward. Any questions for Joe, Steph, and the marketing team? Let's move forward. Doug, do you want to give a quick update on Daydream Music?
Yeah, sure thing. I've been on the past couple of water coolers demoing and showing off Daydream Music and the daemon repo behind it. Just wanted to give a quick update on sort of the technical release last week, where we open sourced the repo and made some noise in the generative AI media communities. Let me share my screen real quick. Cool. So anyone can go to daydream.live/music, and they'll sort of see the videos and explainers of this real-time AI music generation engine that it lets you basically upload any song or start with a sample track or a generated track, and then you can use the underlying AI workflows to like edit, enhance, remix, change that song in real time, play it as an instrument in a live performance, etc. What we released last week was the open source repo and sort of the engine and the paper behind making this possible with really low latency response time on consumer GPUs, 3090s, 4090s, 5090s. The repo got about 200 stars. I guess we hit 200 stars today, so pretty good open source reception. We had a couple thousand people actually try out the hosted web version with remote GPUs, and that's what we will be eventually connecting to the live peer network, so the underlying A-step models can be run on the network. The Daydream Discord is sort of the home of all this being built in public, and all the discussion and innovation there, including training LoRa's for specific music generation models. If you want to check out a demo and a walkthrough of what's possible, we hosted an event on YouTube and X today, and I'll drop the link in here. Let's see, that anyone can click through to scan through that to get the idea of what's going on. And we have a lot of exciting stuff coming up, including releasing a VST, which is the type of music plugin that runs inside of Pro Tools and the type of programs that musicians use to produce and perform music every day, to bring these capabilities there. Long wait list for that, so excited to get that in people's hands. And then we'll be actually packaging up the productization a little better and testing some other user segments, as well as including people who create songs on Suno and other AI programs. So more to come. Follow the Daydream Discord and Twitter or X account, and we will be working hard to grow its adoption and bring all that traffic onto the live peer network. So more to come, but that's the quick update.
Awesome, thanks a lot. And yeah, super exciting to see the open source interest in Daemon. I think Rick shared something earlier. For people that do not know, this was Daemon Architecture, was even submitted as a research preprint. Do you want to speak to that, Doug? I don't know whether you've seen that.
Yep.
But...
Yep, that's the paper. Rick shared the link here in the chat up on Archive, and it's on Hugging Face as well. Yeah, Ryan on the inside. Ryan did a lot of work on the engineering optimizations around the engine to make it work in real time, so that when you turn knobs and give prompts, it can respond in 100 milliseconds or less, so that it feels like you're playing a real instrument. Check out that paper, documents the whole process, and yeah, it led to a lot of good sort of inbounds from the leading AI media researchers and labs as well, who are impressed with the work and want to bring their own audio models onto it and everything. So growing community, growing awareness, and productizing to bring it to the masses.
Awesome, thanks a lot. Any questions for Doug and the Inc team in general, Daydream team? Awesome, then thanks a lot. Oh, there's one here. Doug, are you presenting this?
Yeah, Rick asked.
Soon.
Yeah, Rick asked if we're presenting this on any research meetups soon. I believe Ryan will be in Cambridge, Massachusetts this weekend for the AI Music Research Summit. I'm not sure if I have the name correctly. It's at Berkeley School of Music, and a lot of the leading labs are going to be presenting there. And I think we have a demo presentation slide to talk about this. That's one of the first ones, and hopefully more to come.
Awesome. Thanks a lot. I think yeah, super exciting to see Daemon go from strength to strength and see whether this is the level of virality that will come out of it. Great, thanks a lot, Doug. Let's maybe come to Shane up next. Do you want to hop on up? If you raise your hand.
Okay, can folks hear me?
Yes, we've got you. Welcome back, mate. Take it away.
All right, awesome. Okay, I'm gonna try to share my screen here. Let's see. Okay. Okay, perfect. I think that should be it. Let me know if you see that.
Loading. Still loading.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It might not work. Okay, it might not be working. Okay.
Okay, wait, hold on. Can anyone else see it? Maybe it's on my side.
I see it on mine, but I
Yeah.
mean, obviously.
It's trying.
Trying its best.
It's trying. Okay. Yeah, I mean, what I could do is I could just, it's really just 2 slides. I could just drop them in the chat, and then they can take
Yeah.
a look at them.
Just screenshot
Um,
them all. Yeah, drop them in and then we can go through it.
Yeah, here, let me,
Some people can see the screen, so maybe
Really?
leave it, but then also screen. Maybe do both. That's probably the best.
Okay, yeah, in case anyone's having a hard time seeing it, here, I'll drop these two images. Oh, wait, okay, there's one, and I'll grab the other one. Okay, that should be, yeah, that's the right one. Okay, so anyways, there's those two. And yeah, if folks are able to see my screen, then fantastic. But yeah, basically, yeah, what I'm doing is we were able to have I presented a little bit last time, kind of talked about it and introduced it. I was still working a lot with the foundation and kind of fleshing out some of this. And then we had a follow-up roadmap call with a number of builders, and that really helped kind of flesh some things out. I really learned a lot about the kind of what other people are building and other things that people have tried in the space, and also learning a little bit more about what different options there are. And then following that as well, I also had a meeting with Mike, who's been building the Live Peer modules gateway stack, and really learned a lot there as well. And really came away kind of better understanding kind of Live Peer stack, and that there's different gateway stacks within Live Peer. And so he's built a stack kind of Live Peer. Kind of original stack is Studio, right? And so you've got these different stacks, and the community has, or the DAO has, or the foundation has funded. I believe it was actually voted on, so I'd say the larger community funded Mike's building of a modular gateway stack. And so this is actually going to be, I guess, kind of the first application outside of his own applications that is going to be fully using that stack. Ultimately, this doesn't have to be like gateway. It can be gateway agnostic, and we could potentially use it with other gateways. Just at least for right now, he's got some nice features that allow me to kind of build it in a very modular way. And so we're gonna and add a lot of new different kind of capabilities to the network, which I'm going to get to in just a second. So that's kind of the so you have Live Peer modules as the kind of main way that this stack is going to interface with Live Peer itself. And then you kind of have this, I don't know if anyone's heard of RoboFlow before, but RoboFlow is a way to basically create video flows, and you can actually, at least it has specific flows for video. And you can kind of create blocks and connect these blocks together in a really simple kind of user interface. And so what I'm doing is I'm actually creating Live Peer modules that are specific capabilities. And then I'm adding those as RoboFlow blocks, so that the RoboFlow engine can simply use those inside of the video workflow. And then obviously, then you have this runtime layer, which is you have the live peer modules gateway running the live peer modules, and then RoboFlow inference is what is running the RoboFlow blocks that are all kind of connected together through this interface fabric that I'm building on top. And then that obviously goes down to the orchestrators, which are running off the live peer network. So that's kind of an idea. There was a lot of questions about like what the stack would look like, and so I've been doing a lot of research and figuring things out. And right now, this is what I'm building towards. I'm just starting this week, basically. Last week was a lot of research and connecting with folks, so then I'm starting to build this week. And this is what I'm specifically building. Here's an example of what kind of this stack would look like with a real use case. So an agent can kind of compose a workflow. So for a meeting co-pilot, right? Something that you want to record your meeting with, just like you would use with Firefly or any of the other ones out there. But this could be a Web3 native version that allows you to fully kind of own and customize your own workflow within it. And so you have an agent can kind of compose kind of what this workflow would look like. And so you have an ingest, you have a record, you have an extract visuals, you have a transcribe audio, and then you have a summarize. All that would be able to be kind of connected through part of these. Some of these would be going directly to LivePeer, and then some of these would be going to, most would probably be building on RoboFlow itself. So RoboFlow itself is kind of the runtime that is able to make you able to composite these kind of workflows in a simpler way and allow agents especially to composite workflows. So it's a mix of LivePeer Direct kind of APIs and then RoboFlow APIs, and that's the kind of composite interface layer that I'm building on top, so that agents can just, okay, I need to do this, and this, and this, and it can all kind of string together. And then you can see the LivePeer module capabilities underneath. Transcode is obviously one that's already supported. One that I would be adding would be an NVIDIA Nemo transcription stack. So NVIDIA Nemo is actually a framework for connecting a bunch of capabilities into kind of like a single runtime, make it feel like a single runtime. And so there's a number of different tools that all would go into doing transcription, so that you can get like timestamps, you can get speaker detection, and all of that could actually be put into one, basically one runtime that a orchestrator would run. So if they want to do, and then it would just be a capability called transcription, audio transcription on the network. So anyone who wanted to do audio transcription could just use this, which underneath is a NVIDIA Nemo framework with a bunch of different tools inside. And then for like visual extraction to get like slides or whatever off of a screen, you'd use Florence 2, and then you could use something like VeepSeek, V4 or whatever, LLM is on LivePeer. And then obviously under that, you have LivePeer orchestrators providing all, serving up all those capabilities, at least through this gateway stack that Mike has created. So that's kind of the higher level, what the stacks are going to look like, kind of what the flows are going to look like, going from the kind of what the agent will see and kind of what the agent will do and how that directly translates into capabilities, but then also how it's going to be built with this fabric layer kind of on top, connecting both LivePeer and RoboFlow, and really not doing too much. Like I'm not creating any kind of runtime. I'm not really creating reinventing the wheel with any of this. I'm just really creating this connection fabric layer and kind of streamlining how agents could then interface with these different runtimes. Because LivePeer already has quite a great stack to be able to do this kind of stuff with. But there hasn't been like a really good way to kind of bring it all together to make it accessible to agents, and that's what I'm looking to do. So that's kind of where I'm at right now, and looking forward to continuing to develop this week and next week. And yeah, it's pretty much, I expect to have something to show for in the next 2 to 3 weeks.
Awesome. And Yeah, Rick, do you want to come in? I was going to just say the quick turnaround that you've had to be able to understand the stack, get the feedback, have individual sessions, and then come back has been fantastic. Rick, do you want to come in?
Yeah, to second that was partly what I wanted to say. So I think it would be great if you could share the slides in the opportunity product that we made for this. I think Murdat can share that in a bit. I cannot find it right now. I had one question, Shane. So I think there's a lot of value here from you doing really an implementation work. You have your thesis about the robot stack, and then really investigating how can we enable this agent. You say that it can be run on the two runtimes there. So it's based on the last discussion, that was one question. Do you touch the core stack, or do you enable it to run on like both the runtime? So you say it can both run on mic stack, but it's easy translatable to the real-time stack that Scope is releasing.
Sorry, I think there was some breaking up. I missed some of that.
Oh, sorry. So you say the platform that you're making, as I understand it's runtime agnostic, so it can be built on the LivePeer models. That's the first runtime that you're going to use there, because it's easy to use, because it has like
Yes.
these modular components. But eventually you make it in a way that it could be translated to also use capabilities from the runtime that Jos is working on. We're discussing
Yes.
with him where he's working more on the real-time low latency capabilities that also
Yes.
are needed for Scope and Temin.
Absolutely. So yeah, you specifically sent me some of Josh's work, took a look at it, and absolutely, like really what I'm doing is most of this is just connecting into the RoboFlow engine. So as long as you can create a block from it, then yes, you could basically go through any other gateway. And so this isn't dependent on just one gateway stack. It could actually be with the other ones. I'm going to be able to kind of get to an MVP with Mike because he's already running this stack, and I'm going to be shooting him some capabilities, and he's going to be able to spin them up. So the good thing is like we can get to a proof of concept pretty quickly, me working with him directly. And then ideally, after we get through with this kind of this initial stack and this initial proof of concept, then I'd actually be stoked if we could then kind of take it to the next level. Like, hey, let's actually kind of work this out, massage it out. Let's scale it so that we can, basically have more gateways involved, add more capabilities, like intentionally add more capabilities. Because if you notice, I'm adding specific capabilities, right? I'm looking at a workflow and I'm being like, hey, it'd be great to have audio transcription, right? It'd be great to have, visual extraction. And so I'm intentionally looking at specific workflows, identifying what needs to be there, and then, coming up with a general way that then we could add it to the LivePeer network, right? And so ideally, be able to kind of take this to the next level, come out with a bunch more different, basic use cases on flows that people would like, identify what the general capabilities are, and then work with really any gateway. If one gateway wants to, is going to be able to add those capabilities on their, kind of on their gateway, then that's really what this just comes down to. And I don't see any reason why you couldn't actually have, ultimately have a workflow that's, using some features from one gateway and some features from another gateway. There's really no reason why that couldn't be. So we could obviously kind of scale this to all sorts of cool levels, but at least right now it's just about getting the kind of proof of concept down, working quickly, building quickly with Mike, to just show that, hey, this actually works. This is a direction LivePeer could go, and then we can really plan out how we want to go there to maximize participation within LivePeer itself.
Yeah, great. Looking forward to it. Also, it's a great way to test Mike's stack. I'm following it closely, and then also see a minimal valuable product of something that agents can directly use. My last question. So how, and then I'll leave it to Rich again. How do you currently look at like what capabilities do the builders that use agents, especially in your community or that you chose RoboFlow, what the capability you think they use? How do you do that research? Do you check their servers or? So what's the decision criteria you make for the current capabilities and for the ones that you can add next?
Yeah, I mean, the decision. I mean, I'm just starting with with like a workflow that I would like personally to use. So I'm literally going off my own use cases right now. So I don't have a subscription to Firefly, and I've had some. I don't want to something like Firefly. I know there's other ones out there. I'm not familiar with every single one out there, but I just love the idea of having being able to fully control that stack, and fully own that stack regardless of. Kind of the great thing is LivePeer can actually abstract away all of the heavy CPU things, which is the reason that someone can't just build their own, meeting Copilot. So what I'm doing is I just chose that because I felt like that'd be a cool way to show this off. That'd be a cool something that I could literally use in my own, in my own kind of business life. And then LivePeer is already abstracting away all the infrastructure if I can properly connect that capability to LivePeer, which is what I'm obviously trying to do here, and using Mike's stack to do that with. But ultimately, where we go next, you could really just go anywhere, and we get community feedback, community voting, or something on kind of like what kind of capabilities or workflows are needed. But ultimately, you could create all sorts of different workflows once you have the basic blocks there. Like I kind of gave this example of a workflow, but a lot of these blocks could be used outside of obviously a meeting, right? Transcoding, I mean, that could be used all over the place for basically anything. Any workflow would need transcoding. But a transcription stack, that doesn't have to be specifically for meetings itself, or you could do that for home videos or anything like that. Any a video, a production, like a production studio that has tons of interviews that wants to put all this into transcripts and wants to make it searchable or something like that. Right here, you could, what you do is you just add another capability for embedding, and then you could have that all inside of, at least you can do this with RoboFlow, have that inside RoboFlow as well. So you could have, just this way to upload a video and just have it all transcribed, and boom, you get the audio, you get the and the transcription all right there in text, or whatever format you want. So anywho, yeah, you could really just kind of go anywhere with it. Once you have a capability, ideally, you can use it in any kind of workflow that you might want. And the good thing about at least trying to build it in this this agentic kind of composability work, like building it so agents can compose these kind of workflows, is it doesn't even have to be something where they have a huge job that they need done. It could be as simple as someone just asks, hey, I want I've got this video on my computer, I need the transcription for it, and the agent could just know, if they have the LivePeer kind of skill that I'm wanting to put in there, they could just know, oh, I can do this through LivePeer, so let me just take this video, submit it, get the transcription, and it could just be off the cuff. So anyone that has this skill inside of their OpenClaw or Hermes agent, whatever, would just have a lot of these video transcription or transcribing, transcoding capabilities. Anything that LivePeer can do could just be at the fingertips of an agent.
Conscious of time, I think we need to move forward. Shane, absolutely awesome to see it coming together. Maybe very, very quickly, what's the next step from here? Just down.
I mean, next up is just get the prototype out. So
yeah.
I'm laying all the groundwork now to be able to kind of build this fabric, and then once I get this fabric going, then start sharing the prototype, or if I run into any blockers, communicate what those are and address them. So I'm just in the code stage, like, okay, let's just start coding now. So I got a good idea of where we need to go, so I'm just going to get a prototype out.
Awesome. Sounds great. We'll leave you in peace. Thanks so much for giving the update. And yeah, Chung, I know that you are on a tight deadline. Do you want to get up on stage and we'll have you do a very quick update? And any more questions for Shane, please chuck them in the chat. Thanks a lot, Shane. I think you just you can put your hand up, Chung, and we'll get you up. Yeah, there we go. Cool. Take it away, mate.
Okay, everyone. So, I would like to give the updates on the agentic live peer as part of the, NAPA Epic 3. In NAPA Epic 3, as you can recall, we have 3 major deliverables. And the first one is a payment house integration with the, implementation and integration with the NAPA to actually set up the infrastructure for the billing providers. I think John can give you the updates on that, accordingly. And the second main deliverables is the generalized runner interface in the live peer network. Goes by exemplify through the scope on the network. I think that work is getting to this gate. The runner interface are shared with the Rick and Brad, 2 weeks ago, asked them to actually start to try it out. And in the same time, we're started to onboard public, operators, using that, late last week. And hopefully in the next couple of weeks, we actually can successfully onboard that. And as the third deliverables is so-called agentic, live peer. How can we bring agent first experiences to the live peer? And this exploration mainly solve 2 problems. Number one is how can we leverage this generalized runner interface to fast onboard capabilities to the network? Second is how can we leverage gateway-less architecture using the SDK as a main tool interface to actually empower developers to actually develop the interesting applications much easier. As a result of that, I use that agent as the driven force to do that. So let me share the screen. I'm going to show you guys 3 brief demos and the links in the chat. You guys can play around. It's much more feature services. You actually can try that out and play out yourself. But here I only show you a very quick 3 simple demos. Hopefully I can share my screen. Okay, let me see. Okay. And it's due to the stream error. Okay, let me try that again. Okay, try. And that's it. I got this stream ended due to the system error. Try it again. Oh, I couldn't share the screen for some reason. Test the upstreaming. Yeah. Okay. I don't know. I have the link in the chat. Okay. So let me paste this link. Okay. Okay. So I think everybody can click on this link, and this link is a showcase of what this agent framework can do. What it does is basically it uses the storyboard MCP, which is the agent framework I created, and then when the user pays the story, any asset basically, and this agent framework will first recognize the thing, break the story into the things, and identify the character, and also perform a so-called character locking to make sure throughout the creation of the video clips and images and all the characters remain consistent, which is really difficult to do if you think about it. If you use various different models to create the artifacts, for over a minute of video, most of the model can only create like 5 to 10 seconds, videos with consistency. So and then we can also use 3 different kind of the capabilities here. Majority are the AI models. There's lots of AI models. You can do the capabilities to look at, and also use the non-AI models like FMPEG, tooling to do the video stitching as well. All those capabilities are onboarded with the live peer network through this remote signer, architecture, and then as well. So when you look at the result, it's actually quite a surprising. It can create the really high quality animation out of any text-based stories, and with high consistency and close to publishing readiness. And when I specify this have to be a real for the TikTok, it actually do the resolution and in the right as well. So this is just one of the examples. There's a plenty, probably 20 or 30 of the different examples shown as well. So you guys can try it out. And also there's a UI as well called the Canvas, and give you user more UI experiences, to perform the agent cat driven kind of the media creation experiences. So you can explore that yourself. And also there's a stream macro command allow you to actually bring up the scope live streaming model capabilities as well, to bring those real-time interaction by creating the new short clips from them too. So yeah, this is the really the updates based on the about 6 weeks ago when we started the Epic 3. And I think as a 3 deliverables, I think we all meeting the deliverable date now. And probably John can give an update on the payment warehouse, payment house side. The next thing is currently the Story MCP is using the Daydream API key to gauge the access for metering and usage tracking. And when the payment house and NAPA integration is complete, and the plan is to have much more generic API gating based on any billing provider that actually can offer the services through the live peer network. So that would be the next things. I invite people to try that out, give the feedback, and hopefully most importantly to inspire you to think about what kind of the agentic experiences we can bring to the user. Yeah. Any questions? More than happy to share. Sorry I couldn't share my screen for some reason. But there's plenty of example you can click through and play yourself as well.
Also, maybe a question just on your personal ambition with this. I mean, I know that you've been heavily. I mean, you've built it just yourself, right? What's your own plan from a storyboard perspective to sort of take it to market? Do you have one? Is it just experimental at this stage?
It will take a significant effort to take this to the market. I'm not planning to do it myself. At this stage, I'm really serve as inspiration to inspire the community to look at the frontier in terms of what agentic open network can empower people to do. Okay, and gather the early feedback in terms of what kind of the focus and involvement we can have. I think at the moment, the whole network focus is on the real-time video, particularly on Daemon, for the music, and we want to see that to be successful first. And this one will be complement to that, because this agent framework is one of its key differentiator from any other media-centric framework is its real-timeness. Particularly today we can bring LTX, long line, real-time creation experience into this, which nobody can. But at the same time, music, real-time generation can be brought in as well. I think at this stage, we're still exploring. Discussing with Doug, Eric, and Rick and Rich as well, in the community to explore what kind of the opportunity we can open it up and hopefully can generate demand to the network with much less barrier, because literally for this nobody needs to know anything about the programming. Nobody needs to understand what AI models. For example, currently I already onboard 100 different tools. Among them is about almost 80 different AI models, and also probably 15 also non-AI models like video tools and some MCP for publishing as well. So this will open up lots of experimentation to see what kind of the agentic experience we can bring for media centric creation. So then hopefully we can identify some growth potential in the areas for community to grow. And plus this is a 100% skill driven. Over the weekend I tried a example, like without changing any line of code, I just updated the 3 or 4 different skill files. Today's already have 30 something skill files for different purposes. Some for product marketing, some for animation creation, some for the food program, and also created the skills called image, medical image detection, using the YOLO and various different other tools, to do this, and it works perfectly. It actually has high accuracy by actually dumping a tumor kind of MR, images. It actually can do that. So it really opens my eyes in terms of what live peer network can really enable as a very diversified media-centric tooling network. Yeah. Steph asked me, do I have the example of the Octopus? Yes. If you click on that showcase, it already showed you about probably 30 more different examples built using the MCP and playbook. I also have about more than 14 different playbook. This playbook is basically a prompt template that allow you to fill in relatively small section of the placeholder variables you want to control this. And once you have that, you copy this into the cloud code or codex, whoever using that agent have this MCP configured, then you actually can get highly engaged interactive experience. I encourage you to try. And this agent framework will at the right place to stop, ask you questions, ask to review, to approve. That is all guided by this playbook, as part of the whole agentic, experiences.
Two more questions from Steph. I'm also conscious of time. Maybe a very quick response, Chang, to are there any production outputs?
So this tool is shared with the Daydream team about a week and a half ago, to get some early feedback in terms of if they actually can use it for the product marketing. And I saw Doug actually created one short clip videos using the the playbook, but not much more on that front yet. Any more questions?
No, couldn't hear you, Rick. Okay. Right, maybe I think, Chung, let's move forward. But yeah, it's super exciting to see that come forward, and also thinking around, how we can provide some support to at least have a test case and get some basic users, and see if anybody else wants to move it forward.
Probably, Stefan, when you pick the new web experiences and content engine for foundation, you can start to try this and give me any feedback. Let's see something's working for you, something's not working for you. I'm more than happy to support you through that to evolve this a little bit further with your real use cases.
Awesome. Thanks a lot, Chang. And yeah, it's super exciting to see this. I know you're spending a lot of time, nights and weekends on on moving this forward. So yeah, super exciting to see how
Yeah.
it comes together. Okay, let's move forward. I think Rick is joining again shortly. So I'm just let's wait for him. In the meantime, there's also going to be a roadmap session on a subgraph on the subgraph. Sorry. There's also going to be a roadmap session on the subgraph that Rick, Madad, and Network Engineering SP is going to be doing. I know that a number of people were interested in a subgraph audit, or at least trying to improve it. Rick, do you want to say anything on that? Welcome back.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Great. I was saying a lot of things. So, Chang, thank you very much for the demo. You showed this to me. There's so much value in there that people can try out. I would really say people test it out. There's the link in there. And maybe, Chang, maybe you can, if people want it, give a bigger demo so that people will see all the features. But this is an amazing showcase of what I think you yourself, also other core contributors and the Ink team have built over the last months to really simplify the gateway experience and also the usability of the LivePeer network. That was what I was on to say still to Chang. So if you're open to it, Chang, maybe a demo would be nice.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Nice.
Probably I will work with Rick, in terms of, can have a much longer time, dedicated to give a more enriched demo. That's a lot of things to show here, to answer the questions you might have. But go to the site. There's a architecture link there. Have two versions of architecture. One is for non-technical, and one is for more technical. It gives you a brief overview in terms of what approach this is taken to get here. And in the meantime, I'm preparing a demo for this.
That would be great. Let's schedule that with Mehmet or Rich. Yeah, for my topics, I think that was what Rich was saying. So thank you so much, Tung. Yeah, I had 3 topics. One was the subgraph audit. So we have been working, as you saw probably after the work that Elliot and team already did on the Explorer, to improving the delegator experience further and like the delegators as well. So we added some delegator features already in there. There's as you can see, the reward cuts, the fee cuts are visible on the orchestrator page. There is a notification for the Telegram bot, and there's also some other features coming. One of the features that we keep getting is an ability for delegators and orchestrators to see their taxes, or at least their income, so that they can output that for their taxes, for example. So there is an upgrade done by Adam on the subgraph. I have reviewed it, but I don't have currently the bandwidth to fully take it over the line. And we had a great team already do work on the subgraph, and I would like to see if there's an opportunity to do a subgraph audit, because that will inform a lot of the other upgrades that we want to do in the subgraph, and then have them take this item over the line so that people can see in the Explorer directly the daily income that they get, and can also use that, for example, for the tax. So that was one of my topics. So if people are interested, let me know. I think Rich is scheduling a small session on that. Doesn't need to be long. Just want to get some feedback from the community. So thank you so much for that. I have two other topics, and they're mostly related around protocol. So maybe people already saw that. I did an update on the form. That we have another protocol SPE proposal, the second one. We had just nearly 6 months, so it's not yet done. It's in the end of June, the first period ended, of working together with SideStream on really improving the protocol security there for having them as a security partner, but also improving the R&D pipeline that people can use to get features over the network. So we had a really great experience there. There will be a retrospective later this month when the period ends. There is an update already, as you see here on the end, a monthly update from SideStream and the protocol team. So if people want to keep up to date of what was deployed, follow that first link that I shared. And then here is the second proposal for getting funding to continue this. I can give a really brief overview of what's in this proposal. First is it's ensuring that the protocol still is secure. Really continuing the work that SideStream, together with us in the security community, has done to improve the triage pipeline. So we have now a very strong triage pipeline in place for the Immunify program. They have been very quick in responding to that. We have an issue, for example, they already respond sometimes within the hour, sometimes quicker there, and then they follow that up and they help us through this whole pipeline. And then they also have a release window set every month where we can release it. And this next proposal is about continuing that. We're asking funds for continuing that, but we also ask some funds for doing some proactive work on the security measures. That means we did some self-scanning already of the contacts, at least SideStream did that in the first proposal, but we want to be more proactive because as you saw, their AI is getting better. Currently, we see a lot of, we see some duplicate reports, we see a little bit of more influx of these AI scanners in Immunify. So this for us is an important area to also tackle in the next proposal to ensure that we both can be very respectful of the budget and the resourcing, improve the Immunify program where needed, but also walk ahead a little bit so that we can ensure the protocol is still secure, but we can also release really R&D items that the community feels are needed. We made the decision to have some R&D budget in here, but for bigger items that the community has talked about, that could mean things like, for example, RC20 tokens, burning mechanisms, those kind of things. The foundation decided that we will do separate proposals because then we can clearly scope that. So that's the first things I want to discuss. So look at the proposal, give your feedback there. You can always ping me in the Discord. SideStream is also there to answer questions, and Dub is there to also answer questions from the to represent the security committee there. There is also another update that we just passed yesterday. SideStream, together with the security committee, passed a vulnerability in the live group protocols. You can read it in the third link that I just shared. And that already showcased that our new triage is already really working well. We had a really great experience getting this over the line, and so if people and you see this is a critical issue that they fix there to protect the protocol. So this is one of the reasons also of the protocol why this budget is so important. If people have questions on that topic, I can also answer them. So I think that were my main topics. So I think I will open the stage now for questions. I will be available during the week. And also in the forum, also in the Discord, and like I said, you also have SideStream there answering questions. So, does anybody have questions about the protocol related things? So, and like I said, the first link is for keeping updated with the protocol release schedule, so what was done every month. The second link is about the new protocol continuation proposal that we want to get live at the end of this week. And then the last one was a security vulnerability that we patched. That was patched. We'll wait 20 seconds. And I don't see any questions. Then I'm available in the Discord. But I think we have all the topics except John is there to do a demo. Let me quickly check. We had John. Yes, I think then the stage is yours, John. If you're still on the stage, I can get you on there. And in the meantime, you can still ask questions in the chat for me. Let me invite you up. I cannot. Yes, I have you here, John.
Hello, everybody. Hear me good? Coming through. Looks like it. Awesome. So I was working on preparing a demo, but it's actually failing right now. So I'll just kind of share out what I've been working on the past week. This is a just doc that pretty much goes over the clearinghouse solution architecture. Payment House has been under active development for about 2 months or so now, and some suggestions were made to align it with some other other like metering, and there's a lot of projects that have actually come up over the past 2 years that are really geared towards like measuring agentic workflows and AI usage, and which is really perfect for what we're doing here. So there's a project called OpenMeter, which is open source, and it's a really basic fundamental implementation that has a lot of configuration options to it. There's 3 documents in this gist that you can find. The second one is for OpenMeter. But essentially, Payment House has a few components, right? One is the identity issuer, 2 is the remote signer, and then 3 is the usage tracking. And so OpenMeter provides that component for us. They also provide a hosted option, but what's great is, in the open source world, you can customize that and provide a self-hosted stack. So that's what I've been working on in this design. And this is to address our current RFP that we have open. I've integrated this into both NAP and the LivePeer dashboard website as a demo. Like I said, there's some issues right now I've been working on as we've been moving over to this other architecture. I had to set up a staging environment today and still validating the separation between prod and staging. But yeah, hopefully that document gives a good idea of how this fits together. It's OpenMeter is really powerful because it gives you configurable meters on request paths, as well as like automatic invoicing. So you can externally invoice, and then payment comes based on the invoice. And these are compatible with providers like Stripe and PayPal and things like that, which would also allow us to send consistent billing invoices out through like USDC or crypto-based payments as well. The design also includes like an X402 mechanism. There's a 3rd document in that gist that talks about that at the very bottom, just talking about like the differences between an arrears-based payment settlement where you're consuming usage on the network and then paying for it afterward, versus the typical X402 payment interaction, which is an upfront payment. So there's definitely some payment workflow things to think about there when you implement X402. But this is implemented in the remote signing path, so that essentially, as long as the user has credit applied to them in OpenMeter, they can continually stream. They would only get like a 402 response if they actually run out of funds, and that would trigger some type of SDK, payment that they can interact with or an agent could interact with. There's a lot of diagrams on that page there, and hopefully this kind of helps people see how this fits together. I've also been working with Mike in the past months to look at the LivePeer module stack and get that integrated into Payment House. That's down the road right now, trying to keep on the RFP path. I'm really excited to collaborate with everyone bringing demand in the network.
Yeah, thank you, John. And I think for people to have some context, this payment abstractions got started with Transformation Institute SPE together with Josh and John, and they were really worked hard on abstracting these payments in a remote signer. Then on top of that, John went further to create a whole suite on the payment remote signer, so that people can spin up their own signers. And now with the RFP that John is talking about, which we are creating together, it's more really ensuring that the remote signer can do the accounting very well. And then people can use that. Oh, you have your demo, so I will soon stop talking. So people can first have clear documentation in the LivePeer website to use a remote signer, because then you can just use a signer in an SDK. And then on top of that, building the other features like what John is describing, like OpenMeter. You have that allows like X402 payments, Stripe payments, and really ensuring that a little bit of the crypto native stuff of our network is abstracted away. So John, the stage is yours. For me, the screen share is working. I quickly check with somebody else, Paul, Frank, anybody. Can you see John's screen?
Sure. Yeah, I like I said, I don't really have a functional demo, but I did want to share maybe some of the updates that I've been working on over the past week or so. So there was like a UI cleanup on Payment House. This is the new staging URL. Again, it's like I'll share out some better demos and things integrated soon. NAP is currently integrated in production, and said I was having some issues logging in there earlier, so I'm not sure why that's broke. But essentially, an application, has a public client ID and a private client ID. Public would be for your SDK or any consumer-facing app. They would log into your website, and then they get an auth code is authorized, and the SDK can see that, and it starts streaming, and it gets a short-lived token. The private ID is for, like, if you have your own website, you're building your own platform and you're reselling, you have comfypeer.com or whatever, and that allows you to actually create users under that app, track their usage, generate tokens for them, etc. Billing plans is kind of a new idea. This is actually driven off of the open meter integration. This precision's obviously not user friendly yet. This is very alpha from the past few days, but this would give a user up to $5 of prepaid credit. This currently is configured whenever someone creates a new account automatically, partly to gate the payments mechanism. So as an application owner, the idea here so far is that you would just link your Stripe account to the application, and then you can receive payments from your users, essentially. So every application has its own Stripe integration, and that passes through on the open meter side. So again, the Payment House Builder API is now more of a front-end proxy to the open meter API in a lot of ways. And then you've got like this usage panel. Like I said, this is a fresh staging deployment, so there's not a lot of data here. I guess this does prove that some of this is working. There's the one app that I created, and there's been 15 requests to it, like barely a fraction of a cent of usage. This is just from my testing today, but there are other applications can, of course, build their own usage panels, integrate their own, website and user interfaces here into their own applications using the Builder SDK, which is described in the Clearinghouse doc. So I'll just keep it
Thank
short
you.
there. But
Yeah, thank you, John. And you're also integrating this with the small UI wrapper dashboard that together with Adam, right?
correct. Yep. I made some progress there. I was trying to get this staging deployment out, so I didn't have to run like 9 containers in my dev box to demo it. But it's been working over the past few days. So once I get to the staging deployment and can share it out more, I'll give an update.
Yeah,
I'll share
great.
a link to our channel where I've posted about this as
Yeah,
well.
if people want to keep up to date with John, his work on the payment abstractions, please follow this channel. I'll put it in the chat here. Oh, you already did that. That's nice. And if people have questions for John, ask them here or in that chat. And looking forward to see the full demos, and looking forward to keep working with you to enable this.
Yeah, it's been really exciting to see some of the open source work and projects out there that are available. One thing to also take a look at, if anyone's building, there's an app called Kong, and apparently they bought out OpenMeter recently. Still an open source project, but both of these are GitHub repos you could probably build a live pair gateway on and track usage through this same pattern. So Kong has got a lot more to it from the gateway perspective. It might be something interesting to look at.
Yeah, great. And I think for the RFP, if we have the documentation about the remote signer and then next the accounting worked out, I think that would be nice to really do like a demo on how somebody would or set up a remote signer and then or use your hosted payment house.
Yeah,
Great.
I'm definitely looking forward to moving that forward. I know that the process has changed a little bit with the direct grants, RFP, SP, but if the community feels that this is something that we need, and I believe it is well aligned with everything we're building, then I'm happy to continue working on it and get funded. I would love to move that forward.
Yeah. Thank you so much, John. So then I think we're already half an hour over the normal time limit. So I think the last agenda item that Ritz always does is a shout out to somebody in the community. My shout out this week is Pon. People don't know it yet, but he is building an amazing tool with some trying outs right now for keeping up to date on your orchestrator. So maybe Pon can share that in the next Watercooler or somewhere else. But that's my shout out for today. John, do you have a shout out for today? For a community member or?
I would I would say shout out to Shane for all the work he's been doing, just looking at specking and scoping his RFP and looking into RoboFlow. It's going to be really exciting to be able to compose pipelines in the network.
Yeah, good shout out, and also really impressive with the speed that he got in the community and really locked this opportunity in there and then got working towards a grant. Chang, are you still here? Do you want to do a shout out or anybody else? Mehmet. Bon, do you want to do a shout out? Yeah, I like to put pressure on your project.
Shout out to Sean. I'm checking the storyboard. It's very interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, it's an amazing tool. I also like that. There's so much in there. But
Yeah.
I think done everything. I tried the real time camera. Define, Bitbender, kill out anybody. Otherwise, I think we can close this water cooler off in 1 minute.
Doing this week shout out to Mehmet for doing the work in the previous month on connecting us with the marketing people, and we found a really great guy from his connections that will deal with the marketing. So thank you for that, Mehmet.
Then I think if there are no other shout outs, we can close this water cooler. Thank you so much for joining this time. If there are any questions for the foundation team or any of the presenters, the opportunity threads are in the Discord. All the links are in there, and I will see you probably next week.